Okay, so if you want to talk about an impossible repair job, mechanical toy-wise, this has got to be it, at least for me at the moment. It's a fully automatic Monroe fully mechanical calculator. And it is an incredibly compact mass of mechanical gears and cams and shafts and sprockets and springs. These mechanical calculators, until the electronic calculators came along, were very expensive. And if you wanted to do some serious math, you spent some serious money. This thing cost about as much as a car when it was new of the day. So it was not cheap. And before the earliest computers in the late 40s, you had tons of people called computers. They're just a bunch of people in a room with these calculators, and they were running through tons and tons of calculations to come up with things like the physics problems to like a nuclear bomb, or just basic stuff like artillery shell trajectories and stuff like that. You'd have to do all this stuff with one of these mechanical calculators, and they're not the fastest thing on earth, but it sure beats the heck out of doing it yourself. And what's a delight is to watch them run. I've seen a few YouTube videos demonstrating these guys, and they're just a riot to watch run. For a mechanical guy like me, they're just like the best thing to want, sex or drugs, I suppose, for a mechanical guy. They're just absolutely fun. If you do something fun like a really elaborate division problem or a pi or something like that, and it's just banging and clanging away, and they're just quite the mechanical works of art as far as I'm concerned. So I'm hoping to get this guy going. Unfortunately, a mechanical calculator like this, after it's sat around, and this one obviously had all kinds of critters living in it at one time, and I've done some initial cleaning to get the worst of the worst out. It's got lots of dirt, and all the oil is turned to a heavy, thick, sticky varnish, and so everything's jammed pretty badly right now. It's hopelessly jammed, and it takes quite a bit to kind of work through what's all happening, because until you get it all cleared, you just can't get anywhere with it. And so I got to figure out what's going on, and fundamentally it's not an insolvable problem, and it looks like this massive forest of machinery, but if you kind of delve down into the theory of how this thing works, it's probably, you could divide it into like maybe 5 different little sub-machines. Each machine kind of feeds the next machine's little needs. We have a function, and you can kind of figure out the subsystems in this guy. It's not maybe too impossible, but yeah, it's going to take a bit to kind of clean up and figure out. So I thought maybe I'll make life a little simpler for the moment. If I got to do some sort of simple little mechanical project by just playing with a typewriter, it's a lot simpler than this guy, and I'll kind of bite off more and I can chew on this guy over time, a little more slower pace. It'd be nice ultimately to get this guy running, probably leave the covers off, and maybe make some sort of nice plastic covers. I don't know. I might even put it on like a mirror with some lighting, so you can kind of see how it's running better. One of the more wild ideas would be to actually figure out what each section is doing, and color code them by maybe anodizing the individual parts, so you can kind of tell who's doing what and when and why. That's I think it's very unlikely I'll actually ever be able to do that. If I can just get the thing running, it'd be great. Just even figuring out there's a little governor in here, and I haven't been able to find any documentation exactly how it even works. The amount of documentation isn't nearly as sketchy as, say, the little old 1917 Oliver. There's a little bit more documentation for this guy, but not much, and it's mostly old stuff on archive.org, and probably just looking at the patents and so forth would be my guess as to how I'm going to be able to figure this out, but hopefully I can figure it out. So this Monroe calculator was made late 50s, early 60s. So anyhow, another toy, pretty cool.